ざけんな。自己犠牲なんて呼ばせない。誰が貴様らのためなんかに犠牲になってやるものか。言葉にはならずとも、俺には確かな信念があったのだ。誰かとたった一つ共有していて、今はもう、なくしてしまった信念が。
There is a moment in Oregairu where Hachiman Hikigayo, the self-proclaimed loner, stubbornly rejects the idea of change. He clings to his carefully constructed persona, a defense mechanism against the harsh realities of the world and himself. But what happens when this mask begins to crack? Through multiple confrontations, the standout ones being his exchange with Hayato, where Hayama pushes him to recognize his self-worth, and also the moments with Yukino and Yui, who directly reject his methods and point out his flaws. Hachiman is forced to face the truth he has long tried to escape. These moments tear into the very shield he's built around himself. To understand Hachiman's struggles, we can turn to the philosopher Jean-Paul Sartre's concept of bad faith. Sartre here described it as the lie we tell ourselves to escape the responsibility of our freedom. It's not about ignorance, it's about avoidance. We adopt false identities because confronting our true selves and the freedom that comes with it feels overwhelming. In this light, Hachiman's identity as a loner is more than a social role. It's a shield or a way to avoid confronting his insecurities, vulnerabilities, and the complexities of human connection. This shield stops him from truly understanding emotions, forcing him into overly logical reasoning as a way to navigate his world. Hachiman's sarcastic remarks and calculated detachment aren't acts of rebellion, they're acts of fear. He creates a world where he believes he can control everything, built on stereotypes he made for himself. Yukino never lies, and also telling himself Yui is a nice girl. These labels simplify reality and keep his relationships at arm's length, allowing him to maintain his carefully curated self-image. But here's the paradox. While Hachiman insists he's a loner, his actions often contradict him. He goes out of his way to solve other people's problems, even at great personal costs. Sartre would argue that this contradiction is the essence of bad faith. Hachiman denies his freedom to be anything other than a loner, because that freedom feels too vast, too undefined. In clinging to his label, he avoids the anxiety of becoming someone new.
すべての人があなたを気にかけて嫌っているなんて自意識過剰だわ。あなたと私のやり方は違う。
There is also Hachiman's hyper-awareness of how others perceive him, a hallmark of his character. Yukino critiques this mindset directly in episode 4. This idea aligns with Sartre's thoughts on our relationships with others. Sartre suggests that our awareness of other judgments often traps us in a state of bad faith. By trying to act according to these imagined judgments, or assuming that others harbor specific feelings toward us, we deny our freedom to define ourselves authentically. For Hachiman, this manifests as both defense mechanism and a source of emotional stagnation.
よく見ている。君は人の心理を読み取ることには長けているな。
そんなことは。
けれど感情は理解していない。
The turning point for Hachiman comes after his conversation with Hiratsuka sensei. Rather than providing him with answers, she guides him towards seeking his own truth. This moment sets the stage for his wish for something genuine. It's here that his carefully constructed identity begins to unravel. This plea is a moment of vulnerability, a recognition that his current way of living isn't enough. Sartre believed that living authentically requires us to confront these moments head on, embracing the discomfort of change rather than retreating into confronting lies. For Hachiman, this means accepting that the world and his place is far more complex than he ever allowed himself to believe.
そんなこと絶対にできないのは知っている。そんなものに手が届かないのも分かっている。それでも俺は本物が欲しい。
Change in Oregairu isn't about sweeping transformations, it's about the small and the quiet steps toward authenticity. Yukino begins to seek her own happiness, stepping out of her sister's shadow. Yui struggles to prioritize her own desires, learning to embrace her individuality. And Hachiman? His journey is perhaps the hardest. To move forward, he must let go of the loner persona he's relied on for so long and face the terrifying reality of who he might become. This process is messy, filled with doubt and fear, but it's also where he finds meaning. Sartre argued that freedom is both a gift and a burden. It demands courage, the courage to take responsibility for who we are and who we choose to be. Hachiman's struggle is a reflection of this universal challenge. The road to something genuine is not clean or easy. It's a journey through self-doubt and emotional turbulence and moments of vulnerability, but ultimately, it's where we discover the meaning of our existence. As Sartre might say, the only way to truly live is to stop lying to ourselves.